usual, another usual.
Well, a very good afternoon, everybody. Hello and welcome to coverage of the European Gymnastics Championships 2021, live from Basel in Switzerland. Now, for many of the gymnasts, this is the first competition for over a year and a half. So let me tell you, this is going to be the first of a few days of fascinating finals. This afternoon, we're going to be focusing on the all-round competition, and later on today, we'll have the men. This is obviously the women's session here. We've got the gymnasts who are just making their way out into the arena. No audience. And alongside me in the commentary room, I'm going to call it, with huge screens between us, is Christine Still and Craig Heap. And we also have Beth Tweddle as well with us here all afternoon. So, well, let me start, Christine. These finals follow 2 days of qualification competition, which to many was a very nervy experience, because as we're saying, it's been such a long time since these gymnasts have competed.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the last really major competition was back at the end of 2019, the World Championships in Stuttgart, where all the teams had the opportunity to qualify for the Olympic Games, and they really have not had a chance to compete at this sort of level since then. There's been lots and lots of training going on. Most of them, although stopped during the first phase of lockdown, have been able to train for the last 6 months or so. So massive anticipation, but you know, competing is a skill as well, and it's a skill they've got to find again.
Yeah, and absolutely, Craig. I mean, that's been the point. The nerves and the jitters have actually, I mean, and there's been a lot of young gymnasts that are out there as well, because of the time that we've, you know, had as a break, really. There's some new up-and-coming gymnasts that are coming through. Very exciting, and actually, it's interesting, because for them, it's a great opportunity to say, look at what I can do, and for the older gymnasts who are more experienced, it's like, gosh, I haven't felt this for a while. So there's a real mix of emotions going on.
Absolutely, and I think that's what we're going to see during the championships. People being pulled in. I mean, we're on our third reserve being pulled into this women's all-around final just at 15 years of age. So there's an opportunity to go out and perform under little pressure, even though it's a European Championship. But then you've the likes of the greats of Max Whitlock, you know, one of the big names out there, falling from his favoured piece of apparatus, the pommel horse, and not even qualifying for the final. And just like Christine said, it's a while since you've had such a major competition, and you can simulate competitions as much as you like in a training hall or back in your gym, but you cannot beat getting out there. And I think for some, this is a well-needed competition.
Yeah, actually, Beth, let me just bring you in at the moment, because we've just seen some of the German gymnasts come out in a full-length leotard, so a new look for a new kind of competition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, the gymnasts can choose what outfit they wear, what leotard they wear, and the Germans have chosen to use that, and they have put a statement out about it, choosing to, they want to be role models for young gymnasts coming through, that they can feel comfortable whatever they're wearing.
Well, the headlines from the women's qualification for this all-around competition was that Angelina Melnikova was the highest qualifier. Victoria Litsinova, a new name really, certainly not from a junior perspective, junior world champion, but 15-year-old. This is the first year of senior competition for her. She qualified in second. And Larissa Iordache from Romania, she came fourth in qualification, which meant that she's backed herself a place at the Olympic qualification. And Christine, she's pulled out of this women's all-around. So do you think she came here to do that and to qualify for the Olympics?
Yes, as her country, Romania, hadn't qualified a team, there was the opportunity to come here and qualify as an individual. Only 2 places were available, and I think most people in gymnastics were willing, Lavina, Lavinia Iordaki to get one of those 2 spots. She was part of the real big Romanian teams that competed, and 2012 she was a medal winner in 2012 Olympics, so people were desperately hoping she'd make it, and it was a tight run thing, but she managed to bag one of those places. I think probably 2 competitions in a row was just a step too far.
Well, just a word at the gymnast that's listed at the top there, Listanova. Beth, I mean, she's 15 years old, and she wouldn't have had the shot at the Olympics if it fell when it did, but because of the fact that the Olympics were postponed, she's got a shot at that, and she's got a real shot of today's gold medal.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight race between those top few gymnasts. I mean, I think competitive experience will play to it, but I mean, she has done lots of international events. She's done well in the national championships. They've been training consistently, so I think it's going to be a really interesting competition, but she is such a talent and beautiful to watch.
Yeah, we were talking earlier on, Christine, about that kind of classic style that she has of old.
Yeah, she's a really classical Russian gymnast, but Melnikova in our picture here is also very beautiful. 20 years old now, and sort of has led the Russian team over this last cycle. She's a bit inconsistent, you know, even though experienced, she'll make the odd mistake. And she hasn't beaten the youngsters, the young gymnasts coming up through the system at home in Russia this year. So Listanova is very much the girl to watch.
And falling at a fascinating time, this, Craig, with 91 days to go to the Olympics. A lot of lessons will be learned here, and a lot of feelings will be experienced that are going to be so useful with 91 days to go.
For sure, Matt. And I think there's a lot of tactics behind the back of this between gymnasts and coaches to make those decisions. We've seen people withdraw, for example. Steingruber's pulled out of this, but actually being one of the older gymnasts, she qualified for 3 apparatus finals, and that's sensible decision making to say, I'm going to save myself. She went into the warm-up and thought, you know what, I'm probably not feeling it today. And this is where, when you get older, you've got that relationship with yourself, your body, and you know how it's feeling. So why jeopardise the bigger picture? And for her, it will be the Olympic Games.
Yeah, so Steingruber has pulled out literally within the last few minutes. She's been replaced by Jutta Verkest, another 15-year-old. Naomi Visser is in for Vanessa Ferrari. Wonderful name from the past, Beth, who you know. But yeah, she's not competing either today.
She's not, but she's obviously had a tough 4 years. She snapped her Achilles back in 2017 and has worked really hard on a rehab to get back. She actually had COVID only about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I think, to be honest, she was pleased to be at this championships, get that experience of competing leading into the summer. So the fact that she's done a full competition only 2 days ago, I mean, her body will just be recovering from COVID.
Yeah, and as we were talking as well, Iordaki is sitting out as well, and Zakili is going in, 17-year-old gymnast from Hungary. But it'll be interesting, Beth, that top group, won't it? Because with so many replacements in there, because of the way it falls, you've got your highest qualifiers, and then you've got your reserves that have come, you know, from 25th, 6th and 7th.
Yeah, and I think for those gymnasts that have come in to replace Ferrari and Iordaki, actually, what an experience to be able to compete alongside the likes of Melnikova and also get to experience how they compete, because you can pick up quite a lot from learning how do they mentally prepare, what do they do in between apparatus. So it's a great experience for those gymnasts.
And from the chats that you've had with the gymnasts that are out there, what does it feel like in that arena? Because we know, you know, we've all been cheering for your floor routines and clapping along to the music and really getting behind and the feeling that you get in that arena, in that auditorium, from the energy of the crowd. I mean, how do you think the gymnasts will cope with this, and will it help them concentrate better, or?
I think it's obviously a very different atmosphere, but they were very aware of that. The coaches will have mentally prepared them. They have got screens, you could buy virtual tickets, so there is people kind of able to cheer for them, and it's obviously just coming from the loud screens. But do you know what? I think the gymnasts are just excited to be back out there competing. There's a buzz around the gymnastics world. I know for myself on Wednesday when I was sat watching it, I was just so pleased to see a gymnastics competition back on that I could follow again.
And I mean, an incredible time to be training with the uncertainty going forward of whether or not the teams were going to be picked, whether or not the championships were actually going to take place. So it's been a fascinating time in the history of gymnastics, that's for sure. So, first gymnast to open the women's all-around competition here at the European Championships, Zoya Sakili from Hungary. Second reserve.
And the top group start on the vault. You can see the tariff there, 4.6. Full twist in the straight somersault, a bit of a pike down, but a very good solid start. She's in that top group because she's replaced Yordaki. So she's with some of the gymnasts who'll do massive vaults.
Yeah, it's quite a big ask to join this top group. And you can see there, she won't have the difficulty of the other gymnasts in that rotation. Just a full twist and a little bit pike down on the landing as well. Needs a little bit more extension. But again, for this young gymnast, it's about getting this experience in this level of competition. Strikes well, but there, for me, just twists a little bit soon off the top, slows down the rotation, and that piking for landing.
Well, 4.6 for the difficulty that you could see on the scoreboard at the end of the vault runway. A good solid start for the Hungarian.
So each vault carries its own tariff, and then you get the 10 marks for execution. So the judges will have to decide how perfect it was. They deduct from those 10 marks and add it to the 4.6.
Over to the remaining moments of the bars warm-up.
Each gymnast given time on the bars so that it takes a little bit longer than the vault. And each gymnast prepares the bars as they like.
13.2, first score of the all-round final. .6 for execution. The Belgian gymnast, Jutta Verkest, another reserve. Found out just moments ago that she was in this final, so not too much time to contemplate and overthink.
Well, good opportunity for Belgium to showcase the talents. Clean work so far. A little bit short on that handstand there. Did well to catch the top bar. Got a nice shape in the handstand. Just a little adjustment on the bar. Pike Jaeger somersault. Just so important to get the first routine under your belt. Full twisting, double back finish. Good solid routine, not the most difficult we're going to see, but clean, and she'll be really happy with that.
What a fantastic start.
It certainly was, and in fact, the world champion, the current world champion on the bars, is from Belgium, so she no doubt trains alongside her, and it's very stylish work. Not quite so much difficulty as some, but she fulfilled all those requirements and swings very nicely. Beautifully tight legs. Just a little separation of the legs on that downswing, but very, very good dismount.
Interesting how Belgium's Nina Derville, the bar specialist, has decided not to compete in these championships and save herself for the Olympics. So we were chatting earlier, weren't we, about is that a good decision? Do you need to have a run out? It'd be interesting to see how that pans out.
It will, and a lot of the more experienced gymnasts, I think, have used this opportunity to compete internationally for the first time, not wanting to make the Olympics their very first outing, because, as we alluded to earlier, you need to practice competing, you need to practice controlling those nerves and bringing your best game to the table.
Verkesh. 12.466. She goes into third.
Very popular squat spin. The gymnasts have to show spins and leaps. Opens nicely with that spin, but now she has to show the tumble as well. And actually, oh, that was a shame. It was a good start of the double straight, but a fall on the landing, which loses one whole mark. Now needs to compose herself. Much better in the double pike. Difficult to control double turning jump. There's plenty of marks for artistry as well as tumbling. The routine has to be artistic, very good. Front somersault into a double twist.
Well, what a disappointment for the Finnish floor champion with that tumble. But Ada Hutala gets her first of 4 pieces of apparatus underway.
It's so difficult on the first piece of apparatus and the first tumble to know just how much to give it. You know, you give it too much, you're out the floor, and I think she just held back just a little bit too little, and then obviously the next tumble she powered in and probably had the oomph that she should have had on that first tumble. So a real shame, as you say, Matt, for the Finnish floor champion.
It's an interesting point, Beth. I mean, how did you used to judge the floor with that first opening tumble?
Yeah, I think it's always very difficult because when you go into competition, you naturally have more adrenaline and you don't want to overcook it because you'll end up flying out the floor, especially with the floor nowadays. They haven't obviously changed the kind of setup of it and it is a lot more springy. So that on top of the adrenaline. But yeah, it's, I guess you learn over competition and the fact that they haven't had those competitions.
And here we've got Jessica Gadarova, one of the very exciting gymnasts to emerge on the British team. Beautiful transition from high bar to low and back down. This is a big element here for her. Same element with a half turn. She needs a pirouette. Here it comes, cleanly done. Just a big dismount. Lifts, twists, lands. Well done, Jess. She's had an excellent start to her senior international career this week.
Well, she qualified in 7th place, but what an example. She's come here to show the world what she can do ahead of the Olympics. Mokosova. 11.933 for her floor exercise. Marta Pian-Kuleta, 33 years old now, Polish gymnast, striking a pose.
And the mother as well, so showing that you can have longevity in the sport now, which is great to see. Loads of experience. Nice execution there. Oh, something's happened on the landing. Just about to say, nice execution there on the jump, and she's obviously done something to her knee. She's landed out of it awkwardly.
It didn't look a bad landing, did it, Craig? No, she must have just caught the knee. She's holding the knee. She must have just caught it.
Get something on the replay.
You know, as a gymnast as well, you know your body so well.
I think it was there when you could just see there on a slow motion, the knee went, buckled in slightly.
In fact, it wasn't on the very difficult jump. It was just on the small turn out of it.
It's normally on the big tumbles or the takeoff where you see sort of injuries. Hopefully nothing too serious.
Elizabeth Seitz.
And one of the great German team, renowned for her wonderful uneven bar work, super secure on the front somersault, the Jaeger. See how precise she is in the handstand. That's a very difficult combination of the Kachev straight into the pack salto down. Clean half turn, legs locked together. Beautifully controlled full pirouette into the dismount. She will be very happy with that bar routine.
Well, she qualified third for the bars final. She's been a bronze medalist at the World Championships on this piece of apparatus and also at the Euros a few years back.
Certainly lots of difficulty in the routine. Really interesting to see if the style of leotard's going to take off, because on the men's side, you're not allowed to wear dark trousers because they say you can't see the loss of leg form. And I'm just wondering whether this trend, they pick up less deductions and we see more and more female gymnasts starting to wear this type of outfit. But again, another cracking routine.
2 more gymnasts to go on bars in this rotation. Yeah, looking to make her mark in the bars final in a few days' time. So Melnikova is leading this competition. Listonova in second. Martina Maggio in third. Amelie Morgan in fourth as it stands. So here's the leader, and this is how she did it. Angelina Melnikova. Angelina Melnikova next to go on vault.
Well, gaining in confidence from competition. Double twist Yurchenko. And slightly better than we've seen her in the past, actually, because she can be a little bit scrappy in the legs on the twist. And when we saw the warm-up, it was a little bit loose, but that was much better. Look, the block off the top, superb vaulting.
She's a very classy gymnast, isn't she? A tiny bit offline. The line down the centre of the landing mat shows you whether there's been any deviation. And there was a tiny flicker of the legs, but that was a big, strong vault.
Class act, 14.733. Melnikova takes the lead.
Only 9.33 on execution.
And that, a very dynamic leap acrobatic series, 2 layout somersaults. Business-like approach here. Free walkover. Have to do forwards, backwards, sideways elements on this apparatus. This is probably the piece of apparatus that requires the most repetition. It's so easy to be offline or off balance. One flip, 2, very nice, into the 1.5 twist. We joined the routine after the start, but what we saw was very nice indeed.
Krasicko is just 15 years old, junior Finnish champion. That's why.
There's the flick again into the dismount, the 1.5 twist. Got to keep the beam routine, the momentum going from start to finish. Not too many pauses allowed during the routine.
Elizabeth Seitz scores 14.033. Lihi Raz from Israel. Won a bronze at the Europeans last year. I say last year, it was only 4 months ago, but a reduced attendance due to COVID.
Well, the first big tumble. Full twisting double back. Just couldn't hold it inside the floor, so that's a 0.1 deduction. Oh, fell out of that turn a little bit. that's better. Concentrate now. Did well to stay inside the floor on the twist. Showing there the leap combination, flexibility. It's as much about the performance as the tumbles, but we need to get them on the feet. Come on, it's a front walk out. Lifts up into the double pike, well fought there. Well, that was a good solid floor routine. She'll definitely be happy with that.
Good level of tumbles. Each tumble difficult. Full twist in that first somersault. Pulls it over. It was a good landing, just a little step, but she'd run a fraction too far. You have to keep it in the 12-metre square. And showing her versatility here because of good attempt at the triple twist. The feet were round. And Philippa Martins on the bars. She's made the bars finals. She's very smoothly working. The pack salto down to the low bar. She's done her own new element right at the beginning. Here the Shap with the half turn. Just a big dismount. She's winding up into a beautiful double straight somersault. That was a very impressive performance from the Portuguese gymnast.
And Beth, a gymnast that's qualified in fourth for the bars final.
Yeah, it's great to see. She's really come through the ranks. She's been on the international scene for a while there. You can see the release and catch with the half turn using the combination, which is how the gymnasts are building up their difficulty.
Kosiko 12.5 for Beam. Good start for her.
Not bad, not bad. I mean, the finalists will all be, to have made a final, you had to be sort of about 13 and a half on the beam. So, but it was a good start.
In first year of senior competition, though, as a 15-year-old, gosh. Mihi Raz, 11.9 for floor.
Floor scores quite a little bit lower than other pieces. You really have to be very, very clean on floor to get a good score.
Well, Melnikova leading the competition. Listanova in second. Hopefully we're not in control of these pictures, so hopefully we'll bring them to you shortly. That's definitely not Philippa Martins on bars.
Well, whoever it is, oh, good height there off the top. The 1.5 twist in the Yushchenko.
Martina Macchio.
This was a super block off the top here. She just really popped off. You think you get more of a twist in there. Look at that, the height off the top of there. A little bit of loss of form in the legs before the landing, but right down the middle. Good solid vault in that, Christine.
Yeah, and she performed extremely well for Italy in the qualification round.
14.23 pops her into third.
Yeah, she qualified fifth, the top Italian. After 3 Russians, Romania, and then Italy. It was a very impressive.
Next gymnast on boards, Amelie Morgan, Great Britain.
Amelie Morgan, Great Britain.
And Amelie Morgan from the Academy in Portishead, Britain's top qualifier. Just a relatively secure full twisting. Yushchenko, she's had a bit of an injury and previously has competed double twist, but just playing safe here. Had a bit of an ankle injury in the lead up to this championships, but beautiful form and style. Absolutely on that middle line.
What a perfect start to an all-round competition. It's a confidence builder for Amelie. She scores 13.633. Puts Amelie into 6th as it stands at the moment. On floor, Emma Slevin. And what a moment, first female gymnast from Ireland to qualify for a senior all-around final. You know what it's like to make history, Beth, on floor. How will she be feeling, Emma, at the moment?
Do you know what? I think she'll go in there with the mentality of let's go and enjoy it. She's worked so hard, especially obviously over the past year, to go through it. So she'll be looking forward to this performance. But it looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, let's watch the 15-year-old Listanova from Russia.
Well, this is a gymnast I'm excited to see on her first outing. Oh, double twist to Yushchenko. Not the tidiest we've seen, not up to the standard of Melnikova, but a good solid vault nevertheless. And you really need to be popping a double twist in this level of competition.
So we've gone back to Emma, and she's just starting her floor routine. Obviously, Christine has mentioned it's just as much about the artistry as it is about these big tumbles. But here goes the first one. And a great start with the double pike, solid landing. Here's the jump combination. They have to link 2 jumps together, showing the 180 splits. A great moment for Irish gymnastics to have their first all-around gymnast, and they've got the same on the men's this afternoon as well, so we'll look forward to seeing Adam. And here's the big second tumble, the 1.5 into the full twisting front, very cleanly executed. Gymnasts can choose how they put their routines together. Some gymnasts choose to put 2 tumbles back to back. Some choose to spread them out. Here's the third tumble, the double twist. And a great start to her all-around championships.
Super job, Emma, and huge congratulations in making history.
And really a very clean routine. You know, there was very little given away. High double pike somersault, she nailed the landing. Her chest was beautifully up as she landed. She didn't have her head pointing to the floor. It was a well-disciplined performance. She was working well within herself. There's the double twist to finish. That's the mark of good coaching and good preparation.
Yeah, really good, Christine, on the landings there in all the tumbles. She'll be really pleased with that. And just for her, it's to go out and put a good competition together.
Listanova scores 14.466, which puts her just behind Melnikova into 2nd. Martina Maggio from Italy in 3rd. Philippa Martins 4th. Elizabeth Seitz in 5th. And Amelie Morgan at the moment is in 6th place for Great Britain. With Naomi Visser from the Netherlands splitting the 2 blitz. With Jessica Gadorova in 8th. So Emma Slevin scores 12.3.
Well, that's up from qualification, Matt, so she's got to be happy with that. Just about gaining that experience at this type of competition. If you can just push yourself to do better and better as the pieces go on and build on your overall score, that's got to be the aim for some of the gymnasts in here. Interesting enough, Russia top qualification 1, 2 and 3, but obviously because they're the only 2 per nation, the 3rd spot gymnasts had to stay out. And I wonder if anybody, Christine, has got the ability to get in between Russia in 1 and 2.
It will be a hard job. I mean, Jessica Gadarova, that's her weakest piece, and she is exceptional on floor and vault. She had a torrid time in qualification on beam. She had a bit of an uncharacteristic mistake, but I think if she can do her best competition, I don't think she'll split the Russians, but I think she'll be up there.
Confirmation then, the leader after the first rotation in the women's all-around is Angelina Melnikova. Teammate Lustanova in 2nd, Martina Maggio from Italy in 3rd, Philippa Martins 4th, Elizabeth Seitz then in 5th, but Emily Morgan for Great Britain in 6th. This Naomi from the Netherlands in 7th, and Jessica Gadarova from Great Britain in 8th. So, Chris, 2 Brits in the top 8 after the first piece.
Yeah, and excellent. I mean, we had all our 3 gymnasts in the top 11. Alice Kinsella had a couple of mistakes and had to step aside for the 2 youngsters to go into the final this time. But it's very good for the British programme to see such strength in depth and seeing such youngsters come along chasing the older ones to have to produce their best work.
I was just going to say that, Christine, because I'm seeing faces that I've not seen before in the British team. We're used to seeing, you know, the older gymnasts. So it must be really good to see a new generation of British gymnasts coming through. What do you think, Beth?
Yeah, no, I think that's entirely correct. I think the fact that it shows the depth of the British team at the minute, and it's the same across the men's and the women's programme, and it's great to get that exposure for these younger gymnasts here at these championships. Amelie was kind of our star of the 2018 Junior Europeans, but then has had a couple of years tough injuries and has had to obviously work hard on a rehab to be back out. And then the Gadarova twins coming through. Unfortunately, Jennifer's had to step aside for this championships, having previously been selected with a sore ankle. But we look forward to kind of seeing these youngsters coming through as well.
Well, Amelie, as I said, is in 6th place at the moment. She's moving on to a strong piece for her with bars, Beth, and she qualified for the bars final.
She did. She's got great swing on the bars. She's got some unique work with the full twisting pack. So it's a great piece. She's had a nice solid start with vault and then kind of settled her nerves to move over to the bars and qualify for bars and beam.
Cheyenne Petit from France with her 2nd piece. 18 years old, replacing Marine Boyer.
And the French team have been very strong this past cycle. Melanie Dos Santos, their European champion, that was very tidy, but just a double tuck. They're always classy gymnasts. Cleanly landed that jump. Have to have a forward element like that. So the front somersault into the double twist. Very nice shoulder line, this gymnast. She looks like a dancer. The straight legs, the beautiful hands will give her good artistic marks. Well executed spin at the finish, a very artistic floor routine. Not such huge tumbles, but that will score well.
Well, just over 12 in qualification, you're right, Christine, it was very beautifully put together, but a very quite simple, dare I say it, double tuck for the opener. And if you want to get up into the 13s, 14s, she's got the arches. She just needs to push the tumbles a little bit more on the difficulty.
Just an over now. Second place at the moment.
Bit of pressure if she's going to challenge Melnikova. That was really good there on the release. Good catch. Arms straight. Got in the turn. The back up to the top bar. Coach just hovering underneath the bars, but not needed. Good into the handstand. Nice high. Jaeger somersault, the front somersault. It's got a beautiful line in the handstand. Just needs a good solid dismount. A little bit leggy at the start, but a full twisting double back. That was a good bar routine. Certainly put the pressure on Melnikova.
Well, she's demonstrating that she can handle the pressure. So what does Melnikova say in return to that, Beth?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. It's a beautiful routine to watch. You can see there the height that she's getting in the release and catches, but she's also combining all of these skills, the low bar to the high bar. That's where the difficulty is really being built up. And Melnikova has a very similar exercise in the fact that she relies on a lot of combinations. So I think today it'll be on who gets those combinations, and she's proved that she's done hers.
And Christine, it must be, you know, relatively new to be building all of those connections with her just being 15 years old.
Yeah, but you know what? All these gymnasts have had a long time out of competition, and when you haven't got a competition looming, you have the training time to make those improvements. So I do think we will see those who've made the progress over the downtime.
Kim Boy from Germany. Next to go on floor.
Along with Elizabeth Seitz, two of the gymnasts that have led the German team over the past 8 years. Extremely experienced, well rehearsed. As you can see there, fabulous double straight somersault. Dances easily out. It doesn't look like it was a big stress point. Makes the double tuck look really simple. Expressing the music well. Look, the feet always extended. They're all the little points the judges are looking for. Another great landing from the 2.5 punch front. Three of the elements to be counted have to be leaps or spins. Now, we didn't see that from the best of angles, but it looked to me like she did 2 double tuck back somersaults. Whether the first one was a pike and we couldn't see. This is the opener, beautiful double straight, but you can only count each element once, so that would leave her without a last tumble.
Oh, see here.
Oh, no.
That double pike.
It was piked, wasn't it? Sorry.
And I was just thinking, watching that, we forget she's 32 years of age, putting that performance together. Fantastic.
14.333 for Listanova on bars. She goes into the lead, but for how long? There's her teammate who was leading after the first rotation, Jelena Melnikova.
So a very experienced gymnast on this piece of apparatus, and great to watch. There's that first big combination. Goes straight back to the low bar, then to the high bar. Great leg form throughout. Uses the stoop with the half turn into a release and catch, just unfortunately
Well, that is uncharacteristic for Melnikova.
It is, considering the experience she's got, but sometimes the timings are just slightly out. But she'll know how to compose herself and go back up. So, coach puts her back up, continues with the routine, uses the toe on and off with the full turn into the dismount. You notice that the coach put her up actually facing the opposite way to what she came off, and that was for her to take out one of the simple elements, which actually reduces the deduction. So
this will be very interesting, though. You have to do a forward element. That was her forward element. Now, the judges have to decide, did she make a momentary grasp? If she didn't, she loses the value of the forward element, which is half a mark. She also loses the value of her release and recatch, which is another half mark. Plus, the fall. So that's about 2 marks, plus the value of the element is 0.4. So it's sort of about 2.5 marks if they decide that wasn't a momentary hang.
Well, any chance of a title, I think, there will have gone. How costly, but over to the vault. Just the full twist there. Babora of Slovenia and Slovakia.
That was her weakest piece in qualification. But what a story now as far as Melnikova is going to be concerned, because as a second piece of apparatus with Listanova hot on her heels.
So she did carry a fall in qualification, Melnikova. Here you can see the replay from a very different angle. There's the full twisting Yurchenko, but a great landing on it. But with Melnikova, she did carry a fall from qualification, was still top, so it'll be interesting, like Chris was mentioning, what they will do with that forward element.
Yeah, if they give it to her, then she just loses the 1 mark for the fall. But if they decided she didn't actually catch...
It's a cookie saw. Finnish champion, 15 years old.
Well, that was a good double straight. Very dynamic. Good combination, 1.5 to double twist. She's really selling the routine. There's the obligatory forward element. Well, she's given it a lot in the actual performance, and she kept a bit for the last tumble. She has, just about.
You can't help but think, can you, what a crowd pleaser that would have been, actually, if the arena was full. But we enjoyed it. I thought it was a great routine.
Yeah. I think she was glad to get to the end of that, because she was definitely running out of steam on this double back there. I think she was like, please, you could just see the legs going. And we've all been there at the end of training when you're absolutely nothing left. She did very well to stay on her feet.
Babora at 13.266 for vault.
That is the challenge for the gymnasts. On floor, everybody wants to see this great expression, but it takes quite a lot out of you.
13.033 for Kim Boy.
I think going back to Chris's point earlier about the lockdown and not having competitions, the gymnasts have had time to put new elements together.
Lihi Raz now on vault.
Well, looks a small gymnast, but don't be fooled. Plenty of height off the top there, slight hop to the side, but beautiful in the air. Just the full twist, Yuchenko.
13.433 in qualification.
Grünes Licht geben für die Stuttgarterin Kim.
Interesting to see what the judges make of Melnikova's bar routine. I think that's the big anticipation.
Goodness, that was that round off was well offline, wasn't it? The gymnasts have to be so disciplined on their round off.
Well, a 13.4 for Leahy Raz.
Not bad on the execution there, though. 8.8, and they want to be up around the 9s.
Tonya Paulsen, Sweden.
Well, that was one of the better squat spins we've seen. Leg beautifully straight. Crisp double pike somersault. She spun that double tuck so well. Lots of these gymnasts working very hard at the artistry. The judges have really tried to impress on the gymnasts the marks that are available for good artistic work. Double twist, just a little bit of loss of tension through the legs.
Well, the Swedish champion wraps up on floor. 2 more pieces of apparatus for her to go. Emily Morgan now, Great Britain, on bars. She's qualified for the bars final. The 7th highest score. She was in 6th after the first rotation. Come on, Emily.
So straight into the forward element there, cleanly executed with the Jaeger. The big release and catch straight down to the low bar. There's the shap. And here's the full twist impact that we were talking about. Quite often you see other gymnasts performing that with leg form issues, but very well executed from Amelie. And here's the full turn that they have to include in the routine. And there's the shoot from with the half turn and a very cleanly performed routine.
What a competition Amelie is having. Oh.
Well, I like that dismount because we often see a lot of somersaults, but to do the front half, plenty of height there and time to see the bar. Little regrasp there. Up to the top bar, no problems whatsoever.
Now this routine is usually credited a 5.8 start value, so her maximum score would be 15.8. Now there were little errors, and but she certainly can go high 13 into the low 14s. It's a good, strong routine.
Well, the score to beat at the moment, Listanova, she's on 28.799. Kosiko, 11.9. Lena Virova, Latvia.
First sighting of this gymnast. Oh, very solid there. Full twisting double back. Good in the front walk out, into the double back. Another solid landing. Now, got a control here. 1, 2. Double spin. Leg up. Oh, just couldn't control that. Falling out the spin, very costly. Good there in the leap. Come on. Come on now, save something for the big tumble. Finish off strong. Stands up, double pike, very clean. A bit low there on the height of the jump. Well, what a shame for that bit in the middle, because potential there of a good routine.
It was really, wasn't it? Because it, you know, it was a, well, it's not a simple spin. You've got to get the leg right up to your face, but you could see she just didn't. When you spin, you have to stay on balance, and that will be one whole mark off, just the same as if you'd not landed your tumble.
She comes from, her dad is actually Olympic floor champion from 2000 and coaches her.
Tonya Paulson scores 12 for floor. I don't know when they're going to show you Melnikova's score, but I can tell you that she scored 13.733.
Oh, so they gave her the difficulty.
Well, yeah. She's 0.333 behind Lestinova in second.
Ooh.
Philippa Martins now on beam. She was in fourth after the first piece of apparatus, just outside the medals at the moment.
Beautiful layout, mount. Always takes a lot of nerve to do a difficult mount like that. And then two very nicely executed layout somersaults. This is how you build that difficulty. 3 difficult elements already. Very strong leaps. Leaps like that, you have to hit the 180-degree split. Well executed free walkover. Now every gymnast has to do a little bit part of their routine load to the beam. She's going to link it with the difficult squat spin. See how many times she can go round. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
And that is well rewarded, and she's going to do a double as well. 1, 2, so she can use that twice because it's different element. One's a double spin, one's a triple. Now she needs to keep her concentration because the tricky little free cartwheel, easy to do but easy to fall from as well. Elegant performance so far. She needs to be strong on the dismount. She is. 1.5 twist. That was a good routine.
A definite challenge here.
Well, this was a great acrobatic series there. Flick into the layout, into the layout. Combining 3 acrobatic skills together. But this was the impressive part of the routine for me. Triple spin and then the double spin. You could have a go at that in your front room. Just see how difficult it is, just on the floor. You know what I mean? Great work.
Anastasia Pashinska, Ukraine.
17 years of age. Oh, good solid start. Full twisting double back. Interesting, the first double Arabian we've seen so far on floor. Difficult to land. Now that was better on the spin. Good flexibility there on the leaps. Come on, got to hold the concentration. Look good in the double pike. Again, split leap. Certainly a lot more pace to this routine than we've seen so far. Come on. Double tuck, easily done.
Some incredible tumbling in there.
Really strong work, actually.
Yeah.
It reminds you of the great gymnasts from the Ukraine we've seen in the past, like Podkapaeva. She got that same sort of great technique on her tumbling.
Well, she was 5th in the all-around 2 years ago at the European Championships. Oh, forming that pike.
I was just going to say, you can see this definition of the leg muscles, of how tight she's squeezing there. That for me was probably the worst part of the routine, the double back, where she just had to separate the legs a little bit. But yeah, solid performance.
Well, Anastasia was the last gymnast to go on floor. Emily Morgan scored 13.733. She's into 3rd. So Rakesh scores 13.5 for beam.
I didn't think that was Philippa Martins, although they put it up, but I couldn't completely place who it was, but that was a really good beam routine.
Yeah, that was replaced for Steingruber, I think. I was trying to chase the bib number. And we have no control over what we're seeing here.
I don't.
You could be halfway through a bar routine and it cuts to somebody's floor.
It's a
so
challenge
we
and
are
a
doing
half,
our
this
best.
Scores aren't arriving, things aren't happening, but anyway.
We're here.
We're
That's the
enjoying
most
the
important
gymnastics,
thing.
and that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Did we have did we see how Jessica Gadarova got on beam?
Yeah, so she's had a great performance, 13.5. Obviously, we've not seen the routine. They may show it to us later, but we do know that she scored 13.5,
which is great. That, I mean, she now goes to her 2 favoured pieces, where she qualified top on vault and into the floor final as well. So if she can keep that up, she'll certainly be there or thereabouts, as will Amelie, if she can do another great beam performance.
Well, that's the thing, Christine, and the beam is the one. I think you get through that and it'll be a massive sigh of relief. I don't know your thoughts, Beth, when you were competing, but was that the one, like, for me it was the pommel horse. I just wanted to get out that way. I was like, right, I can relax now.
Yeah.
But surely for the women, the beam must have been the one.
It definitely was, and especially for me, I think I spent most of the time on floor when I was doing my all-around competitions. But yeah, definitely the most nerve-wracking, and I think it will make or break this competition, especially for these top 2 Russians. They both have had errors, so it'll be interesting with the mindset going into this. Obviously, Listanova's had a good couple of pieces, and Melnikova will be fighting back.
I guess for bars, Chris, it just goes to show that if you've got such a high difficulty routine like Melnikova, you can fall and still put in a good score, because if they took a mark, she'd have been on 14.7.
Oh yes, and I mean the bars is the apparatus you can go up high. You know, the world champion will have posted the 15 for the win, so it has the potential to be the highest scoring piece, really. So, but she was quite lucky, although I do think, although she maybe didn't do a momentary hang, she got her hands on.
Confirmation then, after 2 pieces of apparatus, Victoria Listanova leads the field ahead of teammate Angelina Melnikova. Amelie Morgan for Great Britain in 3rd. Jessica Gadarova from Great Britain in 5th. So 2 gymnasts in the top 5 from Great Britain.
So they can see the big clock. Gymnasts have 40 seconds left to warm up.
And on the beam, you get 30 seconds, and gymnasts will train what they intend to do in that 30 seconds. It'll be completely orchestrated. You can see Victoria Listanova here on the beam. Very unusual combination, the handspring front somersault.
It's an interesting format for beam because Melnikova's up first and Listanova is last. So obviously, the pressure if Melnikova goes through, the pressure for the young Russian going last. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad.
On Listanova will be great, won't it?
Yeah.
Well, there's just 0.333 between them. Amelie's 1.433 off the top spot.
And she's got beam out the way, so...
Yeah.
No, Amelie goes to beam, and Amelie scored very well on beam in qualification.
Yeah, sorry, I meant Gadarova.
Yeah, Jessica's done. Yeah, she's done.
And did a great beam.
So Melnikova starts things off.
Oh, and a beautiful start. Change leg, immediate change leg, split leap. So 3 very difficult leaps in a row to start the routine. Needs her focus here. Backflip, layout, somersault. And she gets her join. She joins the free walkover and the 2 jumps. Needs to keep her rhythm and keep her concentration. Full turning backflip. All these skills have difficulty value. The hardest 8 get added together to give you that start value. Has to have a spin. Whoa, oh, Melnikova. She just needed to focus on the technique on that move. Side somersault. She's working with great purpose, but she just didn't fix the body on the spin. Good split jump and landing across the beam. Needs to plant her feet on the end, lift into the air. Lovely double pike, beautiful landing, but just one little slip in the middle will have definitely, well, I'd be very surprised if that hasn't cost her the championships.
Well, I was just about to say, Christine, about the purpose of the routine. I sometimes find beam a bit stop-start, but that had a real pace about it up until that point. And I was just thinking how well she recovered from bars. But you are right there, you can't pick up the title with 2 falls, which is such a shame because that was beautiful to watch.
It was beautiful work. That spin is quite technical. You have to really be well rehearsed on your technique and disciplined, and she just let it go.
Well, I mean, as you pointed out, Chris, she jumped on that beam and she meant business. She was whipping through that routine.
It was fabulous. Because she can be a bit slow and ponderous sometimes, but she wasn't at all then.
Second vaulter up in this 3rd rotation. Chrissy Cope from Finland. She's been having a good competition so far. Junior Finnish vault champion.
Well, let's see what she has to show us on her favoured piece of apparatus. Come on. Oh, the 1.5 twist in the Yushenko. Good solid vault, that. Just that slight step on landing to adjust, but right down the middle. Good work.
Tiny bit soft on the knees. On that second half twist. But extremely well landed. The landing is quite solid. I mean, there's matting there, but it is it's a firm surface. So a lot of the gymnasts will just tape their ankles in preparation.
Melnikova's score is in. It's 12.833. Naomi Visser now from Netherlands.
Smooth backflip start. The split leap into the side somme. If you join 2 elements like that, you get a bonus. Nice height on that leap, but this is quite a slow routine in comparison to having just watched Melnikova put some tricky jumps That full turn across the beam is really quite difficult. It's a blind landing. Very nice free cartwheel flip. Good double spin. She's packing the difficulty in. The gymnast from the Netherlands, known for their good spins and leaps on the beam. Not quite so renowned for their acrobatics. They do quite a bit of their training on beam to music. It's quite balletic. Round off, back flip, double twist. Solid routine. It didn't have the punch of some we've seen, but she really didn't give very much away to the judges.
Well, she was in 6th place after 2 pieces of apparatus. So delighted to get that out of the way and move on to the last piece.
And a big dismount, actually. You don't see many round-off flicks into the double twist. Very tall and elegant gymnast. Like you say, Christine, it's all about the artistry for the Dutch gymnasts.
Score 13.866 for vault.
Interesting, Melnikova only scored 12.833 with the 4, but in qualification, she only had 12.466.
She also fell in qualification.
And still topped it, so...
She's such a classically beautiful gymnast, isn't she?
Let me tell you, I haven't seen Gadarova's floor, but she scored 13.7. And Jessica Gadarova, at the moment, for Great Britain, is in 2nd place.
Yeah, she's her floor work is super. She's qualified for the final.
Just with vault to go then for Jessica.
I'm going to say she had a 14.7 in qualification on floor, so that is down a mark.
No, on vault.
Are we on vault or on floor?
13.7, I don't think anyone. 14.3 was the top on floor in qualification. That was Melnikova.
So Amelie Morgan now on beam for Great Britain. 3rd at the moment.
Well, that was smooth, wasn't it? The layout mount. She has a big series now. She needs to be focused and strong. Backflip, layout, layout. She is. Beautiful technique. Two good strong leaps into the Corbett flip. So 3 elements in a row. She's done 2 lots of 3 elements in a row, so she's got her bonuses rising. Now, the important spin. Well done. Kept her strength. A free walkover, well disciplined. Little stylish work there up on the toes. Just a little bit of loss of tension at the end of the free cartwheel, but she held it well, and with the jump. Now, she just needs to nail this dismount. And she'll be challenging. She does. Well done, Amelie Morgan.
Wow. Beth, I mean, the gymnast that made history at juniors for Great Britain, it looks like she could be on for something here.
She could. She's had a great first 3 pieces of apparatus, and obviously has had that ankle injury, but they've trained smart and made the downgrades where it's needed to be made. But that routine was fantastic. We've always known that Amelie's been a great competitor, so it's great that she's really showing through today.
Becky Wavers now from Netherlands. 29 years old.
was a difficult spin, hard to control. Plenty of height there in the double tuck. Easily round in the double twist. Now control. Oh, that was nice. Speeds up the tempo of the routine. Beautiful choreography. Come on, keep the composure. Going well so far. Nice in the straight front 1.5 twist. What a beautiful performance there. Absolutely fantastic.
It was sort of the perfect floor routine, wasn't it? It was graceful tumbling, incredibly acrobatic, and with great artistry.
Yeah, not the same level of tumbling we'll see from some of the more powerful gymnasts, but its own style and charm. Elegant throughout.
13.433 for Amelie Morgan. 0.5 behind Melnikova. Listanova still to go on her third piece of apparatus.
Seeing good transfers here. Because there's a certain amount of elements that have to be included in the bar routine. You do see, oh, that was a shame, she lost her rhythm there, but you do see a lot of the similar work. Forward giant into the double front. That was a great shame. She just didn't keep the momentum out of the front somersault.
Lihi Ras, the 17-year-old from Israel.
Such a difficult piece of apparatus, Beth. Once you lose the momentum, to get the momentum going again, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you could just see there she came in at a strange angle on the catch and just then totally lost the control to be able to perform the upstart. But composed herself and has obviously trained the get out of that, because knew straight away to just turn her hands into the forward grip and prepare for the dismount.
13.233 Naomi Visser. So Melnikova leads ahead of Amelie Morgan from Great Britain. Jessica Gadarova from Great Britain in third. Elizabeth Seitz in fourth. On to Martina Maggio, Italy. Sorry, my mistake. It's Sakeli from Hungary.
Well, second reserve into this all-around final. So again, wanting to put in a solid performance. Good connection in the leaps. Well, that was nice, interesting backward roll. Now this is a difficult spin. How many times round? 1.5. No problems there in the side somersault. Got to concentrate on the foot placement. Free walk over. Well done. free cartwheel. It's got a nice pace about it, this routine. Come on. Can we hold on for a dismount? The full twist, little step to the side. Again, not the most difficult routine we've seen, but performed cleanly and just good to get from start to finish.
Just a little bit lower on everything, and you could see with the dismount just not quite driving the legs in a straight line. But confident. See, the legs came round the side, and that is what puts the dismount off sideways rather than backwards. And of course, when you're out of alignment like that, that's quite a big deduction.
Becky Wavers, 12.533 for floor. Shane Petit from France on vault.
4-6 difficulty. So a full twist. It didn't have massive height and flight off the top, but it was efficient and tidy.
That's a great camera angle there. You can see bang in the middle of the springboard. Yeah, not the difficulty we've seen. Clean. It really need to be having an extra twist. Certainly at world level anyhow, you need a double twist. Good score anyhow, 13.266.
So the Russian champion and potential leader of this competition is last to go on beam. Teammate fell on this piece of apparatus. Can she cope with the pressure?
So that's a great start to this routine. We saw Melnikova have problems with that, but Listanova straight in there with it. A very stylish gymnast to watch. Here's the unusual combination, the handspring into the front somersault. Just a slight step forward, but very well executed. There's the change leg into the split ring. The 3 series combination builds up their bonuses. There's the free walkover, building up each combination. Has a slight pause before this next split jump into the full twisting flick. Very difficult element to perform. There's the 2 jumps which are compulsory for every gymnast to perform on beam. Just got to keep the concentration for the last big test of the routine. There's the round off into the double tuck. Step back at the end, but definitely will be very pleased with that routine.
Unbelievable. I just want to remind you that she's 15 years old. Just remarkable. Floor to go for her. Surely she's going to be in the lead with that.
I guess she will be, but she's already junior European champion, junior world champion. She has been the sensational gymnast to emerge over the last couple of years. And like you said at the beginning, Matt, if the Olympics had been run in 2020, she wouldn't have been eligible because she's too young. One of the winners from the delayed Olympics.
I was going to say, certainly for the, unfortunately not for the men's side, but for the women's side, to have a gymnast of this capability within your team is just absolutely phenomenal. And to go last under that pressure and to put that routine together shows real maturity.
1.966 for Sakili on beam.
She had a tough start to the year as well, Listanova. She actually picked up COVID and going into the national championships had to downgrade the routines to be able to perform.
Well, looks like she's fully recovered now.
Preparing for floor.
It's like a military operation, isn't it, to get all the strapping off. It reminds me of Formula 1 cars going into the pit stop and the physios, everybody quick, because if you're last up on a piece of apparatus and floor's next, you've got to get ready, or if you've got to get your guards on for the next piece. It's a real team effort.
And actually, Craig, this is one of the things about competing. You really do have to be on your game for this couple of hours.
Tonja Paulsson from Sweden next to go on vault, 4-6 difficulty.
Well, we're seeing her on floor, powerful on floor, fantastic vault there. Again, a full twist, not the most difficult, but executed one of the best there. Plenty of height off the top. I think that's the best full twist we've seen so far.
Well, 41.299 is the leading score at the moment. Angelina Melnikova. Paulsson scores 13.658. Emily Morgan for Great Britain is in second. And Jessica Kadyrova from Great Britain in third. Kadyrova now from Latvia on vault.
Good control, lovely landing, good flight. All these single twists, just a 4.6 difficulty value, so you know they can only go maximum 14.6. You usually lose a mark.
13.466 for Virova.
See there, 8 on execution, one before 9. And even though she stuck the landing, it was just about the height off the top of the vault. Really difficult to get a 9 on execution, Christine, on the vault, or any piece of apparatus for the women.
Yeah. You probably get more on vault than anything.
Caroline Edouy from France, 8th highest qualifier.
Letzte Turnerin in dieser Rotation am Boden, Caroline Edouy, Frankreich, France.
She was in 18th place going into this piece.
Well, certainly power for the first tumble. Double Arabian, well done. Easily rounding the double tuck. Slow it down. Lovely control there in the spin. Leap combination. Got to show the flexibility in the split leap. Strong tradition in France. The floor, the front walk out. Wraps into the 2.5 twist. Just couldn't control it inside the floor. Pick up a 0.1 deduction for that. Good control. And a double single leg spin. Stands up well into the double pike. Well, that was a solid performance there. Adieu from France.
Just one more piece for her to go. 17-year-old.
There, the opening tumble, the double Arabian, the half turn into the double front somersault. She really controlled the landing well. Lovely technique on the flip, straight legs. Spins that double pike.
Well, Victoria Listonova scored 14.066 for Beam. Confirmation, Victoria Listonova scores 14.066, puts her ahead of teammate Angelina Melnikova by over a mark and a half. We'll get confirmation of the order with one more piece to go. Very shortly. We keep saying that we're not in control of these pitches. Well, it's anyone's guess what we're about to see.
This is a great coaching angle. It's the number when you're coaching gymnasts to do that vault, the number of times you're telling them about the head between the arms on the approach, and that's where I'd like my camera.
Oh, we're going to set some cameras up.
I think I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, the number of times my coach used said to me, you need to jump off the top of the board, and I've been going, I am. And I think most of the time I was jumping off the carpet. I didn't even get on the springboard. But you're right. I mean, to use technology now in coaching is a massive help.
I'm actually surprised they haven't used technology in the judging in this particular championships as well. It would have been an interesting time to trial the, you know, kind of VAR, if you like, as far as gymnastics is concerned.
Well, at our Olympic trials in Great Britain that have been going on, and the trials for this Europeans, we had just 4 judges in the competition hall, and the rest of the judging was done on video. All the routines were videoed and sent to the judges. So the difficulty score was done in the arena, but the execution wasn't.
Well, here's how things look with one more piece to go then. Victoria Listonova leads the field by over a mark and a half ahead of Angelina Melnikova. Great Britain's Amelie Morgan in 3rd. Jessica Gadarova, Great Britain in 4th. Seitz in 5th. Further down we go then. Aki Wavers in 9th. Philippa Martins 16th. Virova 23rd place.
If I just clarify what I was meaning before about the women's with the leggings, it wasn't to hide the deductions at all. You know, yes, they do it in men's, but it is to protest about the sexism and sexualisation within the sport as much as the change in the out uniform.
So it'll be interesting going into this last rotation. We know that Jessica Gadarova's on vault and actually scored a huge 14.7. And then Melnikova, Listonova over on floor was scoring around 14.3 and 14. So yeah, Jessica could really move herself up, and then Amelie scored a 13 in qualification on floor. So this last rotation is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, floor is a long way the sort of lowest scoring piece. Even if you're the best, you're sort of struggling to get into the 14s at all, aren't you, Beth?
Yeah, it is probably one of the most difficult to get those really high scores, and also the high difficulty on it. Jess will be going up last on vault, so we'll have to wait for that result coming through, and then as Melnikova qualified in first, she'll also be going last up on floor.
Well, there's just 0.3 between Jessica and Amelie. So they could be vying, and then you've got Melnikova and Listonova. I think Listonova's too far ahead to threaten, but
she's still got to do a clean routine.
She has to do a clean routine, Beth. Of course she does.
Just think, though, this is phenomenal where we're at for British gymnastics going into last rotation in 3rd and 4th place. You know, I'm praying, you know, fingers and everything crossed here, that we can just hold on.
It's fabulous comment, especially with all the training time lost during COVID.
Well, Naomi Visser will be the first gymnast to start things off in this final rotation on floor from Netherlands. Replacing the great floor worker, Vanessa Ferrari.
Dutch gymnasts very much pioneers. Oh, that was a beautiful triple twist into punch front. Pioneers of the specialist floor routine, selling the routine. But that little hop will be costly on that spin. clean double tuck. Very clean on the twist, legs locked together. Well, good to see the smile at the end, but although it was a beautiful mood piece, I didn't quite feel that she sold it to me through her face and body in quite the way I might have hoped.
Well, there's no doubt in the execution. This was good as well. Triple twist. It's interesting if they'll pick the deduction up, as in it went slightly to one side in the punch front. But that's a big skill, triple twist, immediate punch front somersault. Good technique there in the round off backflip. Look, legs glued together. And nice in the double tuck, knees together. You know, the Dutch are renowned around the world, aren't they, for the artistry and the choreography within their routines, whether it's floor or on the beam. Look at that, locked together. You're right, the gymnasts have got to sell the performance to the judges.
Possibly because the Dutch are so renowned, you become expecting a little more. I felt it was a cleverly done routine, but she didn't quite sell it to me. I didn't see that beautiful smile during the routine.
Well, Elizabeth Seitz now on vault.
Well, in for a challenge. Such a powerful vault to look. Just a full twist there. So again, not the most difficult, cleanly executed and plenty of power.
Well, with it being such a high scoring piece of apparatus, for now, she'll go into the lead. Yeah, there she is, 13.566.
So hard to break that 9 on execution on vault.
So, Amelie Morgan.
So it's the final challenge for the day. A great start with the double spin into the double spin, building up the combinations. She has struggled with an ankle injury. There's the round off into the double tuck. Working on the artistry to sell the routine. The leap just with a slight hop to the side. Prepares for the next tumble. 2.5 into the pike front. Gets connection bonus. Shows off her flexibility. And here's the double squat spin. Cleverly incorporated into the dance afterwards. There's a nice change leg ring into a change leg half. Shows the full 180 splits. There's the handspring into the full twist. And what a great way to finish her all around championships.
Well, what a routine. I mean, goodness me, it was kind of the routine of a life to try and get a medal here at these European Championships in the all-round competition. That was the fourth of 4 pieces of apparatus, and, well, she was in 3rd place after the last piece, so what will the next 10 minutes or so have in store for her?
Yeah, I think very well executed, just slightly down on the difficulty, so yeah, it'll still score well, but we saw in qualification that she did score a 13, so it'll be similar to that score. We can't expect the big scores that we've seen from some of the other floor specialists.
Naomi Visser scores 12.533. Well, Amelie was just 0.3 ahead of teammate Jessica Gadarova. It's Lucky Webers on vault.
Very nice height, very nice control. Now that should be with an execution in the 9s.
Well, that had the height and the landing as well, didn't it? That is probably I'm going to say, one of the best, if not the best. Can you believe only 8.966 on execution?
No.
So, yeah, they're probably the second best one we've seen, but, yeah, solid.
Amelie's been very impressive. This is her second day, Amelie Morgan, second day of 4 of a faultless competition, of really maximising her performances. As we've said, she's come back off a long list of injuries, so it's been a very impressive championships for her.
Just waiting for Amelie's score to come in before Martina Maggio from Italy can take to the floor. Melnikova will be last to go. She was the highest qualifier. But this is not the competition that she wanted to have. And characteristically, too many falls.
Well, falls in qualification and falls in the all-around final. It's really uncharacteristic. But let's not forget they've had such a long time out of competition. And her sights will be firmly set on Tokyo for sure.
Well, this score for Amelie Morgan is taking a long time coming.
See anything there, Christine, what the judges should have a big debate about?
No, not really. But as you can hear, Jess Gadarova about to go on vault, Amelie supporting her.
And I've also seen on Instagram, Jennifer is closely watching at home as well.
Ah. Great Britain's Jessica Gadarova with a real chance for a medal in this women's all-around final.
We know she's got a beautiful double twist. There's the pop off the top and just a slight step, but absolutely fantastic. That is going to be a mid-14s, so a great all-around for her.
I do think that is the highest, most powerful looking vault we've seen today.
Well, the question is it a medal for her? Will she be on the podium?
Well, the power off the top of this vault there, you can see, and look at the execution in the legs. For me, that is the best we've seen in terms of execution, height, and it will score very well. Let's hope she's faltered herself into a podium place.
I think so.
12.766 for Amelie Morgan. Will Jess go ahead of her?
I would expect so. So the highest Italian gymnast in qualification. Qualified in that spot from one of the early rounds as well. And that was a very competent double straight. Popular and good-looking tumble that. The straight front walk out into the double back. Convincing leaps. Two whips. Oh, a double tuck, but it was a little bit undercooked. It's a busy routine, this. Final tumble. Lots of very good work there, but in the middle, a double tuck. She just managed to get her feet down, but it'll have been a costly landing.
Well, full of energy. You can see at the end of it, she's definitely put a lot into that routine and some big tumbles. Very impressive double layout. Is that the one we're going to see there? Yep. That was really good chest up on the landing, and that's what the judges are looking for. Like you say, Chris, just that little bit in the middle. That's a big straight front into the walkout. Double pike back. See a lot of gymnasts do a tuck front somersault, which is obviously a lot easier to get rotation than the straight. So it just shows the ability. I like that. 2 whips into the flick. That's the one. I think she just snatched it a little bit on takeoff there. She did well, actually, Christine, not to put her hands on the floor.
She did, but it was a real demonstration of landing with the chest down on the floor.
Shane Petit from France.
Well, transition well at the start. To on and off. That's good. Onto the top bar. Nice shape in the handstand. Look how flat the back is. Oh, unlucky there. The pike Jaeger somersault. Released a little bit too soon. And that's the thing, if the gymnasts are going for full extension on catch, it's about leaving it to the right time. They can see not just over the bar. Where Melnikova earlier was over the bar, this was too short. So that'll be really costly. 30 seconds to get back on. And again, you see, Coach has said, you need to get your release in. Needs a good dismount. Double layout. What a shame, because that's the makings of a good routine. And certainly one to watch for the future, I think, Chris.
Yeah, that was a dynamic. She's a dynamic little gymnast, actually, isn't she? The French haven't figured so much this championship. There we are, you saw the correction there.
Really missing Dos Santos, I think.
So Dos Santos has competed on 2 pieces, on bars and beam, but I think she made some errors in qualification. We might well see her on beam, I think, in the finals.
She made gymnastics and high-performance sports not make mistakes.
Interesting, the coach, isn't it? How very true, you know.
14.6 for Jessica. She goes into the lead at the moment.
Look at that execution, though, 9.2. Fabulous, fabulous work.
Well, that's why she was highest qualifier on vault. And it looks like she's bagged herself a medal here in the all-round. What a launch onto the senior stage.
Absolutely, and, you know, she has generally been thought of to be the weaker of the twins.
Martina Paggio finishes her competition.
Jessica Gadarova, she's from Aylesbury Gymnastic Club.
Just getting a stretch out done. Obviously, she's still got 2 more days of competition with the vault final and floor final, so a few more days to go.
Just go straight to the top and move up. And again, climb it. We'll get there, Jess.
Very promising young coach as well.
Kimboy for Germany. Our last piece, bars.
And that's how you do the Jaeger. That's unusual combination, the Jaeger into the pack salto. One of the more difficult, and the full turning pack, just a little bit offline, but she controlled it well. The transfer with the half turn, it was a bit untidy, but she's got so much in this routine. Beautiful Ginga salto, half turn, she's winding up, that's making it faster, up into a big high double pike somersault. Such an efficient gymnast.
Lovely variety in the routine as well, Christine. That Ginga somersault in the middle. Don't often see that performed with the same height that we saw there. He'll be so precise with the hands. You can see there that the full turn into the Ginga somersault. And then high, well above the top bar in the double pipe back. Great work.
Shempati, 11.7 for bars. So Victoria Listonova, the second highest qualifier for floor, going for gold here in the Women's All-Around European Championships.
Powers in. Oh, and she nearly buckled. That's how you do the spin with the leg up. Two whips into triple twist. Fabulous combination of spins. A relatively easy front full twist. This will become one of the special routines in the history of gymnastics. So expressive.
Oh,
Fantastic performance. And this is why I think she is going to become one of the most decorated gymnasts we've seen.
it's just absolutely incredible. What a debut on the senior stage to come out and show the world what she's capable of and what she'll do at the Olympics.
Determination on her face, but then to land and just sell the routine with beauty as well.
Yeah, a great starting tumble. You could just see slightly short on the landing, but has obviously knows how to recover out of it, but has a lot of experience. Here you can see a fantastic tumble, the two whips into the triple twist, and very little for the judges to deduct there. Knows exactly where that landing is. You can see Melnikova in the background, which is great to see, teammates supporting each other throughout the routine.
Looking at what you've witnessed from her, Beth, throughout this competition, what will she be working on, do you think, going ahead for the Olympics?
I think it's all about the consistency, and there's just those little errors here and there, but obviously it's been a very up and down. Actually, probably in training, those errors don't show through. So it'll just be getting, when you put your arm up to the judge, your heart rate just goes, so it's learning to control that. But yeah, we can see here as well, Jessica, both of these youngsters have had a great start to their senior
Yeah, well, they're 1
careers.
and 2 at the moment, and yeah, it's both their debuts, which is just remarkable. We've got Melnikova, who's yet to go on floor, the last gymnast, and she's going to have to go some actually to beat Jess.
What does she need, Mark?
Well, she needs 13.8. She did score 14.3 in qualification, so. The pressure's on this routine when you think about how many falls she's already taken in this final. She's just got to try and remain composed. You know, you'll know all about that, Beth. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, she is an experienced gymnast. She knows how to pick herself up after a fall, and she is a floor specialist as well. So in qualification, she had the error on beam and then came back and performed very well on floor and scored that 14.3. So yeah, I don't know which is more nerve-wracking. Jess will be sat there not being able to control that score now, so it's probably more nerve-wracking doing that, waiting for that score to come through.
Well, 13.866 for Listonova. It takes her into the lead by 1.631. So the big question is, what colour medal could Jessica Gadarova get? We'll find out very shortly. Angelina Melnikova needs 13.8 to go ahead of Jess, Great Britain.
Schauen wir, was jetzt passiert mit Angelina Melnikova, Russian Federation.
Well, she needs to really concentrate now. Full twisting double straight. Oh, that's a big tumble. Oh, beautiful. Such an expressive gymnast on all apparatus. And another big double layout. She's certainly not holding back. This is how you perform a routine. Straight front full twist. Now control. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well round. Oh, struggled a bit there, just coming out. Come on, hold the concentration. High into the double pike. Little kick back from the floor, but a solid routine under immense pressure.
She meant business there. She was, I'm having a medal and it's going to be silver. I'm coming out. Goodness me. That was impressive.
Yeah, it shows her strength of character. She has had those couple of errors, but I mean, this floor routine, the back in full straight, absolutely amazing. And then goes straight back into the double straight. Makes it look very simple, and it's definitely not.
Now, she scored 14.3 in qualification, so sort of a big score. She had a little bit of a moment, didn't she, on the double spin with the leg held up.
Are you putting your judging hat on here, Chris? What are you going with?
I think 14.066.
Could you be a little bit more precise? Higher or lower for the silver?
Oh, Listanova.
Yeah.
Should be good enough for the silver. Certainly won't take the top spot, but yeah, what a performance.
Well, at the moment, it's Listanova in the lead. Gadarova from Great Britain in second, and Emily Morgan from Great Britain in third.
What a fantastic result, though. I mean, obviously we're still waiting for Melnikova's score, but for the two British to come out and do clean competitions, that's exactly what we're wanting. We want that consistency. So, yeah, fantastic.
Certainly puts pressure on the selectors for the Olympic team to come and put out a performance like that, Christine.
Well, yes, I mean, it gives the selectors a great quandary, doesn't it?
Headache, I would have said.
But the, you know, the young gymnasts are great, and the people who've been there for the past 4 years have to respond by being even better. That's for sure.
And I just think the advantage of the younger gymnasts is the recovery. They can go day to day, back to back.
Angelina Melnikova scores 14.133. She takes the silver, but there's the new women's all-around champion, Victoria Listanova, 15 years old. What a debut on the senior stage. Watch out, world, here I come. But what about that? Jessica Gadarova from Great Britain takes the bronze medal in the women's all-around competition.
And with our coach there, Josh Richardson from Aylesbury, great moment for them.
Her senior debut.
We need to get a British flag down to her.
If only we were there,
I know, we could have thrown her one. What a story, though. Great Britain 3rd and 4th. Amazing result.
Yes, it's Russia 1 and 2, Great Britain 3 and 4. Confirmation then that Victoria Listonova is the new women's all-around champion. Angelina Melnikova takes the silver for Russia. Jessica Gadirova for Great Britain, the bronze medal. Amelie Morgan just outside in 4th. But Russia 1 and 2, Great Britain 3 and 4. And yeah, it was a story, wasn't it, of the youngsters coming through, grasping an opportunity, and the older, more experienced gymnasts kind of remembering how it feels to be out there and competing and dealing with those mixed emotions of really no crowds or anything like that.
Well, the British girls have done 5 competitions now in terms of these trials, and for Olympics and for this Europeans. They've all been at Lilleshall, so they've all been sort of not on a podium, but Jess Gadirova has been very consistent over all of those. So, you know, it's not a surprise, it's not a one-off to see her come and work like that. Amelie Morgan's been slightly more up and down because she's been coming back from injury. But, you know, that is work they can do. And it's all credit to the programme and the coaches working with them that we've got yet another generation of gymnasts, very exciting gymnasts coming through.
Oh, this gymnast, though, Listonova, I mean.
Look at the determination.
Do you think, Beth, she'll just keep the routines that she's got then and work on that consistency, as you were saying, or do you think she'll change it up even more? I mean, you know, thinking of the likes of all the gymnasts that she's got to compete against in the Olympics and the level that they're at.
I mean, obviously, you've got more nations coming through for the Olympics with China and America, but we've also got to remember there's only 90 days, so you've got to take that back into consideration of risk versus consistency. And we've seen that these routines she's been performing, she obviously knows them, she obviously is confident with them. So by changing routines, you can potentially upset that consistency. So
I was reading a piece earlier on about how excited she was about actually seeing Simone Biles, you know, in live. She said she'd only ever seen her on screens or looking at a tablet or a phone and whatever, but actually be in the same room as her and just watch her.
Well, I mean, 5 years ago, obviously, was the last Olympics, so she was only 10 years old, and then obviously Simone had been around before that, so she was only very young when Simone kind of burst onto the scene, so she's grown up watching her and obviously been an inspiration to her.
Absolutely.
I do actually think she's got a little bit of tidying up to do. Watching at that slow motion of the vault, that's where she can get that Jess with her 2 coaches, but I think that's where she can pick some marks up. A little bit of, you know, tidying up at the edges, which I'm sure they will do.
A bit more consolidation, I think, back in the gym will make that big difference.
But yeah, what a story for Aylesbury Gymnastics Club, and to have a European bronze medalist under the roof is quite something.
And just great for British gymnastics as well. You know, the new generation coming through, new faces, you know, proving that we're going in the right direction. So fantastic. Good day at the office.
And what an achievement for Jessica. What an achievement, a personal achievement as well, to have come so far in her life at the age that she is quite remarkable. Well, there's the future of the sport right there.
Actually, Listonova is, I last saw her at sort of just after Stuttgart, and she's grown quite a lot in this last little period. So she's probably had her own challenges as well.
I don't think Jess knows whether she's meant to keep a mask on or off.
Well, Jessica, you've got to get used to these medal ceremonies now, you know. There'll be a few more to come, I'm sure.
Oh no, Melnikova's been given the mask, yes. So that's obviously the party line, you wear the mask.
Must be quite confusing because I don't think even we know what to do with the gymnasts out there. So Melnikova's going, I'll give you a fist bump, and then when I give her a hug. So they seem a bit pointless, but yeah. It's just great to see things opening up and sport getting back.
And at grassroots level, I mean, seeing all the gymnasts coming back in through the doors last Monday was amazing. And the smiles back on their face. Now they've got the Europeans to watch, so...
Well, the story of so many of us starting gymnastics was the fact that we were climbing the walls at home. And when you think of, you know, so many youngsters being cooped up for so long, and to be able to express themselves and jump about and safely, obviously,
Matt,
goes without saying.
Me and you were jumping over hay bales.
We were, yes.
So a bit safer than most, but yeah, absolutely. Oh, now you can take your mask off.
Take 'em off.
The podiums look social distance, so that should be
Absolutely,
okay.
and all the medals, we understand, are sanitised and...
Vacuum packed. It's a shame they haven't got, you know, can't have spectators because it looks a really good stadium.
Yeah.
Award ceremony all around women. Siegerehrung Mehrkampf der Frauen.
Well, what a moment for Jessica Gadarova from Aylesbury Gymnastics Club. She takes the bronze medal in the women's all-round final.
Jessica Gadirova. In second place and winner of the silver medal representing the Russian Federation. Auf dem zweiten Platz und Gewinnerin der Silbermedaille für die russische Föderation, Angelina Melnikova.
Well, it was a battle all the way. She hung on in there for a medal, took the silver.
In first place and the winner of the gold medal and European champion 2021 women's artistic gymnastics all around, representing the Russian Federation. Auf dem ersten Platz Gewinnerin der Goldmedaille und Europameisterin 2021 im Mehrkampf der Frauen für die russische Föderation, Viktoria Listunova.
Viktoria Listunova is the new champion. And what a debut in senior gymnastics. Packed with difficulty and artistry. And more than good enough for gold.
The winners are congratulated by. Die Gratulation der Medaillengewinnerinnen wird vorgenommen durch Frau Beatrice Wertli, Director Swiss Gymnastics.
The smiles say it all, don't they? From
Schweizerischen Clubverbands.
Jessica 16, Victoria 15. It was a great competition in the end, wasn't it? The final, and once we got past that first two pieces of apparatus, everyone sort of thought, okay, this is the new normal.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's crack on.
No, it has been a great competition, and I'm sort of, I know for in Great Britain we've got great juniors, but this is almost the start of a new era, and stunned with how well the gymnasts have performed.
Victoria Listanova, the new women's
Your applause for the
all-around
best
champion.
gymnasts of today. Ihr Applaus für die besten Turnerinnen am heutigen
Well, we're going to be
Tag.
taking a break in our coverage just for a short while. We'll be back here at 10 to 4 for the men's all-around competition. You can see coverage of that on iPlayer and BBC Sport website. But for now, from all of us here, have a nice break.